Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Team, and this is the award-winning Fan Show. Happy Wednesday to you all. It is a great hump day. Not quite in the Northwest. It's freezing cold. It was minus 10 when I went to work this morning. But hey, nonetheless, we are here. We are live. We are ready to talk some football and whatever else. Tonight's episode, of course, another one in our home stretch of the IFL season. It is countdown to kickoff. We are in the thick of it. 2 days left until the Nebraska Danger will host the Cedar Rapids Titans for the official kickoff game. And then, of course, Green Bay will host Iowa on Sunday, as well as Arizona hosting Sioux Falls for a rematch of last year's United Bowl. I will be at that game, very excited. I have some great guests lined up for tomorrow night, so you will not want to miss it. But yeah, we're here. We're ready to go. Fan Show Tour officially starts this weekend. I cannot wait to get away from the cold weather. I mean, Phoenix in February. I couldn't have planned this tour better myself. Oh, wait. I did. I'm sorry. I wonder how long it's going to take for me saying the award-winning Fan Show to get old. Hopefully not for long. Hopefully a long time, because I enjoy saying it. I really do. Last night's episode was a lot of fun. Had my conversation with Cameron, who was sort of the man who put the idea in my head to get this thing going, and had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, reminiscing. Great talk with him. And then, of course, we had Manny Esprilla from the Green Bay Blizzard. So that was a lot of fun talking to him about life in Green Bay, and I can't wait to go and see the good folks of Titletown, the cheese country, and in May, and then, of course, Iowa and Nebraska coming up next month. So, yeah, as soon as the tour kicks off, it's up and running, no looking back. But I am very, very excited about it. So that'll happen this weekend. Tonight I have a great guest for you. One had to call off, and that's all right. They are ill, probably with the flu that's been going around. So, hey, these things happen. It's okay. We'll get them back on later. But I do have Bryce Enyard from the Iowa Barnstormers on tonight. We're going to talk about the good city of Des Moines, and the Barnstormers. Last night I just talked to a member of the Green Bay Blizzard. Tonight, Iowa Barnstormers, they play each other. And I think that's probably going to be the sleeper game this weekend, really. And I know that everyone's going to be eyeballing that Arizona opener with the rematch with Sioux Falls. But that Green Bay-Iowa game, I think, is going to be a sleeper. I don't know if it'll be the game of the week, but I think it's going to be a good one nonetheless. I think both of these teams have I think Iowa has continued what it's got going on there with Coach Wooten into this year. And then Green Bay with Coach Chris Williams, I think they've got a good guy there at the helm, and we talked about that last night. So in case you missed it, go check it out. It's available on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and SoundCloud. I guess I shouldn't say iTunes and SoundCloud because I still haven't figured this issue out yet. Apparently, me changing my password for SoundCloud went and screwed everything up with Spreaker. And you know that it's going to be a great day in customer service when you have to tweet at SoundCloud, because God forbid they have a customer service number or an email support address. So you have to tweet at them, and I did a couple of times. And anytime I have to tweet at a company because I'm dissatisfied with something, or I need an answer to a question, or there's a problem with my service or my account, if I have to tweet at them, you will hear from me. You will respond to me. So yesterday morning, I tweeted at SoundCloud support and said, I will tweet you every hour on the hour until this is fixed. So here's the first one. What is going on with my account? So they replied back to me instantly, and they said, fill out this ticket. I did. I explained the situation. I said, my last 3 episodes aren't there. I don't know where they are. They're showing up on iHeartRadio. I record through Spreaker, which is supposed to automatically put it there. I'm paid up. I'm not past due or anything. My account's not shut off. And I pay for the account that allows you to pretty much have like unlimited storage, so the episodes just keep, they delete the older ones and then they put in the newer ones back so far, and that wasn't happening. So I explained that. They emailed back to me and they said, on our end, everything's fine, so check with Spreaker. Okay, so now we're playing the blame game. Luckily, Spreaker has an email address for their help, but it's a small team, so it does take a little bit before you hear back. Emailed them, said, hey, here's what's going on. SoundCloud says it's your fault. What do you think? And they got back to me today. Yeah, it looks like there's been a problem with the connection between Spreaker and SoundCloud. Have you recently changed your password? Yes, I have. Didn't know that was going to cause the problem, so hopefully this episode shows up there, and then maybe they'll kick out the older ones. But anyway, you can still catch past episodes on iTunes and SoundCloud. And just having a little bit of a kerfuffle with it right now, and that's whatever. That's technology today. But I pay for it, and I expect it to be what it needs to be. That's the moral of the story. So hopefully this episode will show up on iTunes and then SoundCloud. Of course, you can always go to Spreaker.com or thefanshow.com, and you can either listen live or check out the archive, the episode archive, and any ones that you may have missed. But if iHeartRadio is the way that you swing when it comes to podcasts or listening, we're there now. And then replays, always, WBLZ Sports. So that hasn't been interrupted either, thankfully. But that's my little rant. That's our little preposition for this episode. So let's go ahead and get to those headlines. The headlines are, which we missed them yesterday because I was so excited about the episode that we kind of just skipped that whole portion of the show. But in case you missed it, which you'd have to not be signed up for any social media to miss this, Fergie, I'm not going to say butchered the national anthem. She just did a rendition of it that was very not well liked. She tried to, I guess, jazz it up or blues it up a bit, and it's the national anthem. First, let me clarify something as someone who grew up, being in band, right? We play the national anthem, pep band, marching band. Like if there's a sporting event that we're at or an assembly or something like that, we play the national anthem. I know how this goes. And it's a march. It's not a ballad. It's a march. And the difference between that is a march is, very not quick tempo, but a moderate tempo because it's for the armed forces. They are marching, and they are not marching slowly. They are marching left, 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 right, left. So when it comes to the national anthem, it is sang as a march, or it is played as a march. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. We hear it as a ballad, though. Like 21st century, even probably way before that, it's a ballad. Like the longer you can make that national anthem go for, like the better you are, I guess. But Fergie decided we're gonna blues it up. We're gonna just, man, throw on your shades and fedoras. We are going to blues the crap out of this thing. And it's just, okay, I can handle the ballad. I thought Pink did an amazing rendition of the national anthem before the Super Bowl. She should really be the halftime performer. She's a very underrated, underappreciated artist. Anyway, so it's a march, not a ballad, not a bluesy song. It's an anthem, okay? Like, for those of you watching the Olympics, which I'm not, but how many times have you heard them play the American national anthem, and it's not someone singing it, they're playing it, and it is a right do. So I don't get it. But she apologized. I don't think she needed to apologize. It's whatever. Like, it's done. It's over with. You can't go back in time and change it. And it's what you felt you wanted to do with it. But I do think that was probably just not the smartest choice by her as far as like, so how am I going to do this national anthem? Let's blues it up. Like, where was management when that decision was made? So the All-Star game happened. LeBron James MVP, big surprise there. Color me shocked. Then in football news, let's see here. After undergoing knee surgery last season, former Buccaneers, Jets, and Cowboys kicker Nick Folk was cleared last week by Dr. James Andrews to resume kicking. I don't think he's going to be resuming kicking anywhere. If Chisel Adonis has anything to say about it, Nick Folk, put your head down. He may have been dethroned by Blair Walsh, though. I'm not sure. But names that you don't want to see show up on your team's roster this offseason: Roberto Aguayo, Blair Walsh, Nick Folk. Probably in that order. There's not really an order needed. So, free agent to be, 45-year-old kicker Adam Vinatieri intends to kick this upcoming season, his 23rd in the NFL. Vinatieri has already spent 2 more seasons in Indianapolis, 12, than he did in New England, 10. How crazy is that? So, do they retire his number for both teams? Because he's been a rather sort of key player for both teams. Now, more so New England than I'd say Indianapolis as far as like recent memory. But man, he's got to be a first ballot Hall of Fame kicker, right? Vinatieri? For sure. Buccaneers released Doug Martin. I'm not shocked. I don't really know what they're going to do at backfield, but he just isn't what he was, and I don't even know if he needs to find second life on another team or what the case is. But this, you could see the writing on the wall. This has been a long time coming. I'm surprised it's taken the Bucs this long to release him. Let's see what else was in the headlines. Kicker Ryan Suckup has agreed to terms on his contract extension with the Titans. So when you have a good kicker, you pay him, because you could be the Seahawks, and who knows how many losses can be chalked up to Blair Walsh's inability to do his job. And what else have we got here? Oh, the Dolphins placed wide receiver Jarvis Landry with a franchise tag, and can't say didn't see that one coming. He's a guy that a lot of teams would really like to have, and the future is in question in Miami. And if you're a young, talented wide receiver, you don't want to be tagged by that team. You just don't. And it's nothing to knock Miami. Like, if you're going to figure things out with whether or not Tannehill's your guy, rebuilding, Adam Gase, Cutler, whatever, like, you traded away Jay Ajayi, and we all saw how that worked out. So, yeah, obviously, desperation says we're going to hang on to our star players while we can. Hey, we're going to place a franchise tag on Landry. Not fair to him. Not fair to him. I will say that. But it's there to use, and they have used it. So that's good for them. Let's see here. Panthers officially named Marty Herney their GM. And I think that about does it for the NFL headlines. As I mentioned, of course, the Olympics are happening right now. If you're watching, great. If you're not, nothing against you. I don't really see the appeal to the Winter Olympics other than Shaun White is amazing. But we did put it to a vote, and a lot of people still believe that Michael Phelps is the greatest American Olympian of this generation. And that's a tough call for me because, I've never swam before, so it's hard for me to say that I know what it takes for Michael Phelps to do what Michael Phelps does. Yet, I have snowboarded before, and I know exactly how hard that is. And what Shaun White does with his ability to get enough momentum and speed going to come out of a half pipe or off of a jump at the correct angle to then torque and twist his body and wind it up and release and exert enough energy to get it around and to have the wherewithal to place a hand on a certain part of the board as well as twisting and then still come out of it and land. I mean, we're talking about an Olympic high diver, but in motion going down an ice hill. You know, I mean, it's essentially what snowboarding is. Michael Phelps got to have great conditioning, and I believe that he is one of the best conditioned athletes ever. He is swimming laps in a pool, whether by himself or on a team. Shaun White, this is all him. So I don't know. It's tough for me. The redemption story really hits me with Shaun White because we never saw Phelps fail, you know? I mean, he just kept coming back and doing it like better than before. And then there was the whole Ryan Lochte thing and like, oh, his time's up. No, it's not. Michael Phelps just, you know, but we have seen Shaun White fail to achieve greatness for that Olympic event, and then we had to wait 4 more years for us to get probably the single best performance of a snowboarder that we've ever seen since since it has been added to the Winter Games. So good on Shaun White. I like him. I don't think I'm going to win the argument, him being the greatest Olympian for America this generation. But man, the comparison and the argument for him and Michael Phelps, I think, is really something. I really do. So I love that. Bryce Enyard coming up. When did I tell him I was going to call him? Bryce, when did I say? I said, oh, now. Okay, so we're going to go to commercial break. When I come back, Bryce Enyard of the Iowa Barnstormers. Don't go anywhere. We've got more of the Fan Show coming up right after this. You're listening to the Fan Show, your home for all things football and nonsense. My special guest tonight, Farouk. Farouk, welcome.
He's no expert, but here's the thing. Football and nonsense is what he brings. Sports talk with a twist. It's the Fan Show.
Do you know him as Kevin from the League? It is none other than very funny Steve Ranazisi.
99% of the population doesn't know who I am, but the 1% do. They yell and scream inappropriate things at me in public.
Kyle Ray. Kyle, welcome.
And I was like, wow, I think we just saw the whole Super Bowl, Phyllis. It's like that scene in The Simpsons. Like, why rent the movie? I just saw the best part.
Funny man Brad Williams.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I flew in just for your podcast. I've heard about this podcast. I've heard it's fantastic.
It's Mac and Farva, but they are my special guests tonight. Steve Lemmy, Kevin Heffernan.
I was in Mexico for 10 weeks in a Speedo. Like, that was me going to work. I was putting on a Speedo.
Farva is the most fun to play, and it was a blast to do that again, to do Farva again.
So then the makeup artist had to put Vaseline on your body, right?
Yeah.
And then put the powdered sugar on top of that. Is your name really Richard Siemens?
Listen live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night on Spreaker.com, or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Joining me is a member of the Iowa Barnstormers, looking to make it just a little further than last season, i.e. championship bound. It is Bryce Enyard. How you doing, man? How's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing quite well. How about you?
Oh man, I'm doing good. It's like these countdowns, I swear they make things take longer to get to. The IFL has been all about this 10th anniversary and the top 10, and we're like 2 days away from kickoff, and it's just like I'm ready for football. Like I had my break with, after the Super Bowl and whatever, but like I'm ready for indoor action. I am. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely ready. They had the little season change up and everything, so now we playing Sunday, but, it's just another day to get ready.
Yeah, I mean, football on Sunday. I mean, who would have thought that would work out like it does? But it'll be good to see you guys. You start out on the road like you did last year, but you will not play as many games on the road before coming home. I will be at that first home game for you guys on March 10th, I believe, so I'm excited for that. But you guys are going to go up to Green Bay, kind of a rivalry for you guys. Both Coach Wooten and Coach Williams are with their teams again, and then a lot of the rosters, some changeover, but a lot of key components stayed. And I think for you guys, other than Travis Partridge not coming back and maybe losing Jamie Bender, that you guys have an otherwise very strong roster. What's the most exciting thing about the 2018 Barnstormers?
I'd say a lot of the exciting parts is, like you said, we do got some key components coming back. We still got Rowan coming back, Valentine coming back, and then we even got Drew Powell. I mean, he made himself a familiar face at the end of the season last year. I mean, he's been doing quite well so far with this training camp. And then on the defense, I learned a lot from Jamie Bender and Matt Goldsmith and the other guys that was there. We got Zach Allen, Keith, BJ. So, we got some guys that played last year, and some leaders is a huge thing that these guys are. And just with us, we're able to help out with these rookies that we've had this year. So, it's going to be pretty fun to watch these guys come play their first game, especially going against Green Bay. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I think that you guys in Arizona really lucked out with your quarterback position, because Arizona, who won the United Bowl last year, they lost Cody Sokol. He's going to go play overseas in Japan. And it's like, man, how do you replace a championship quarterback? Well, they went and got Verlin Reed, who did phenomenal for the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles last year. I mean, he was kind of my dark horse for maybe Rookie of the Year, but he had a great season, and now he's going to be on a great squad. And then for you guys, you lost Travis Partridge, but now you guys get Drew Powell. So it's kind of like, you guys are right there with them as far as, hey, no problems here. We pretty much either broke even or upgraded, depending on how you want to look at it. But what kind of dynamic has he added to your guys' offense in camp and everything?
Yeah, Drew's been doing well. I mean, he's jumped right in pretty well. I mean, yeah, of course we're going to miss Travis, but like I said, Drew, great quarterback. I mean, from the numbers that I've seen that he put up last year, I mean, I feel like we're not going to be losing a step. Coaches did a great job picking up Drew, so we're not wanting to fall off at a great start that we had or a great season that we had last year. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to continue moving forward and not dropping back.
Yeah, and I think that, for both you and Green Bay, this season is really important for both squads, just because you guys made it so far last year, came up just short, and I know that a lot of people were really behind you guys because you went on that amazing run there in the middle of the season. You had those upsets, that fantastic game against Wichita Falls. And then for Green Bay, there were some questions about whether or not Chris Williams was the right guy for the job, but it was such a young team, and of course, you don't want to make changes any more than you have to. So he's back. Coach Wooten is back. I mean, this is kind of my pick for maybe that sleeper game of the week. I think it's going to be really competitive, and I'm sure you guys share that same sentiment going up to Titletown to open up your season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we're all in the same league. We're all grown men, and I mean, of course, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I mean, who else to start the season against Green Bay? I mean, it's going to be a good game, and I can't wait.
Now, as far as Coach Wooten, because I know that with a guy like Chris Williams, a lot of people say that he's a player's coach, and I hear that same kind of rhetoric be reiterated from you guys there in Iowa. But with Coach Wooten, he seems like a guy who's not afraid to maybe adapt to change. So has what he sort of bases his philosophy on as far as coaching and approach for each season, has he changed anything from last season, or has he pretty much found a formula that works and now it's just about fine-tuning anything that maybe you guys missed on last year?
I mean, to speak anything on that, I mean, I'm just going to have to say that Josh is going to have to wait and see on Sunday what we're going to be bringing to the table for this year.
True teaser right there from Mr. Bryce Enyard. Well, I'm certainly excited for the 2018 season. You guys, like I said, open up against a rival, and then there is that rematch of last year's United Bowl. When you look at teams like Sioux Falls and Arizona and how they're going to open up the season against each other, now you guys have been in positions where, getting a win first game of the season can really sort of set the right tone, but even a loss isn't too hard to overcome. Which one in your mind do you prefer? Like, is a win the way to go because obviously you've got things working right, or is it a loss where you've identified whatever issues you may have early and now you can only go up from there?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, to me, we try to go 1-0 every week. I mean, we can't afford to take losses, and when it comes to game day, I mean, we've done lost so many teams, and I mean, the league is pretty small now, so I mean, we can't afford taking losses during game days. I mean, if we're going to take an L, it's going to have to be at a practice day, and then we're going to have to come back next practice day and get wins, and more wins until it comes to game day and go 1-0. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, so wins obviously better, and even though some might say you learn more from a loss, that you guys don't have time to lose, and I completely understand that. You got 6 teams in this league, which is a bit of a different look than we were maybe expecting about a month ago, but nonetheless, you guys are going to go out there, you're going to have fun, you're going to compete, get that film. And for you, returning to the Barnstormers this year, I mean, 2018, if you had to sort of sum up what it means to you, is this about finishing what you guys started last year and getting a championship, or is it more about, I just want to be competitive, get the best film on myself that I can get and see where this season takes me?
I think I see myself more of a team player. I mean, I really need to get that taste out of my mouth of the way that we ended our season last year. So, I mean, for me, I feel if we're going to get the wins, then my film's going to show. Because, I mean, speaking for me, I'm planning on being on that field. So if I'm playing good, then I'm helping that team get the win. That's how I feel about it.
That's good to have. What's a personal goal you've set for yourself this season? Maybe a stat or just a feeling you want to have at the end of the season?
My personal goal, I mean, it might sound simple, but it's just continue getting better each day. I mean, I don't have no stats or anything, but as long as I'm getting better each day, then I mean, I'm on the right path. Yeah,
no, I completely understand that. And I think the fans are going to appreciate you guys coming back full force. Coach Wooten obviously has a great thing going in there. What is it that makes Coach Wooten different from any other coach that you've had?
I mean, Coach Wooten, I mean, he's great. He's a great coaching guy on and off the field. I mean, he's always going to be there for us if we ever need something. He knows that we have a life off the football field and everything. So, I mean, it's always good to know that he's going to be there for us. But when he gets on the football field, it's all business. And, I mean, like I say, he can be your friend off field, but when you're on the field, you got to hit that switch. It's all business. It's football. It's go time. And I like that.
Well, his Snapchat game is definitely one of the best I've seen out of the indoor coaches. He's always on that thing, man. I love it.
Yeah, he lets everybody know what's going on Snapchat. I mean, like I said, he's a hard worker. So, I mean, he's going to show you that we're working hard on at practice, after practice. I mean, even himself, he'll be in the weight room with us. He'd be working hard in the weight room too. So, I mean, that just motivates us. That we're like, if he's going to work hard, then I mean, we definitely should be working hard. I mean, he don't use it for the wrong reasons. He eats well and everything. So, I mean, it shows like that's what we should be doing too. I mean, he's not as young as us, but he's still out there moving around. I mean, the things that he does is what keeps him like keep moving and everything. So.
Yeah, he's at the gym enough where I wonder if there's ever moments where he gets, frustrated at the team where he goes and suits up and puts the pads on and be like, I mean, like this.
He'll go out there on the field and he'll run routes, he'll kick, he'll go to the line, he'll back up, he'll do whatever he needs to do to show us, like, to help us move, take the right step that we need to take.
Who's a more intimidating guy, him or Coach Marvin Jones?
I ain't gonna say no names, but we could put them both back on the field. So.
Oh, I want to see it happen now. Now you just put the scenario in my mind where we got two coaches suit up and do drills for a half hour before the game. I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bryce, I do thank you for taking the time to be on the show, man. Very excited for the season opener, like I said, but even more excited to make that stop in Iowa. You guys are always great to me, great hosts. You got a great organization there, which I'm sure you're very thankful for this year. So I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck this season.
Always. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Well, you take care of yourself. Tell Coach and the rest of the guys I said hello, and I'll see you guys in March. But good luck this weekend, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Will do. You take care, too.
All right, man.
Bye.
And that was Bryce Enyard of the Iowa Barnstormers. Always a pleasure to talk to a Barnstormer. There's just a certain culture about that team, there really is. I think these guys have something really special with Coach Wooten. And, Green Bay, I think, has something on the verge of being special with Coach Chris Williams. But to see that team, that franchise, turn itself around the way that it did last year, that run they went on, some of the games that they were in and that they pulled off at the very end there, it was really something to watch. This was one of the best Barnstormer teams since a guy named Kurt Warner donned the goggles, and that's huge. Talk to anyone from Iowa. It was great. So Jimmy, Ron, the rest of you guys out there in Iowa, Connor, get excited. I think this is going to be a great game this weekend. Great season for you guys as well. I want all these teams to do really well. I know that that's probably not going to be the case because, someone's got to be at the bottom and then there's always going to be someone at the top. But I want to be held in suspense until towards the end of the season. And will we get that this year? I don't know, but it's certainly something that you can hope for. So the reality is that I think the people of Iowa should be very proud of what they have in the Barnstormers, the team, the franchise, organization, and then, of course, that culture there. They've got a good thing going. Don't take it for granted. And I know that you guys don't. But hey, fill the stands, buy the tickets, go and support these guys. They compete, for themselves as well as for you, the fans. And what else do you have going on in the spring and summer that you can't go and enjoy a nice air-conditioned arena and take in some football that is fast-paced, a lot of action, and high scoring? There's no better way. I'll tell you that right now. So we're going to take one last commercial break and bring this whole thing home in this edition of the Fan Show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
This is The Sheet.
Gets me all revved up. My face is now red. My ears are just freaking boiling.
He's so raw that Sky hates him.
Yeah, he had 51 touchdowns. 4,900 total yards.
I know y'all like that, but I got to run. And only in Alabama that could happen, I have to say.
They're so good, man. They would win the Big Ten if they were in the Big Ten. You could be doing something vision-based in front of you and reach down and grab a handful of insane goodness.
Give it to him. Kudos. I'm clapping like a golfer. Very good, Johnny. I'm proud of you.
Wow. You guys agree on something again? I'm very impressed. You ever had a bad week? Just you walk outside, step in a puddle, like right when you walk outside. I mean, how does a puddle right outside the house? Or you stand on the curb and somebody drives by and splashes water up on you? Or it's just raining on you, not anyone else?
I will tell you, before you go any further, I cannot hear Chad when he speaks.
Good. You're listening to The Sheet, man. I don't really know what we're doing.
Every Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on WBLZ Sports.
Whether it be your industrial, commercial, or residential needs, Gen Service is the electrical contractor for you. The Gen Service team has the expertise, commitment, and educational years to help you solve all your electrical concerns. They have you in their best interest with helpful suggestions to accommodate your every want. Give them a call, no matter the size of the job, at 740-438-7173. Mention WBLZ Sports, and you'll get a discount. That's Gen Service, 740-438-7173.
This is Nick Ciccarelli, the mad scientist of sports. Join me and Dr. D, Derek Jones, live every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, for the Mad Scientist Sports Lab. The big intellects, the experiments on the chalkboard, and the guest subjects will be rolling in. Mad Scientist Sports Lab, only on WBLZ Sports, where we got balls.
Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. He has over 30 years of painting experience. He's interior, exterior, commercial or residential. Doug Peffer covers it all. Is your house looking ugh? We'll call on Doug. Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. 404-966-3361. Mention WBLZ Sports and get a special We've Got Balls discount. That's Doug Peffer Painting and Pressure Washing. 404-966-3361.
Check out Thursday Night Tailgate, where NFL legends live on. We bring you 5 NFL legends every week, sharing their stories and insights, plus our spotlight on the positive. Hear which players are doing great things in their communities. Now on WBLZ Sports Talk Radio and WBLZSports.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're in the home stretch of this Wednesday edition of the Fan Show. And, thinking about my conversation with Bryce and the guys, I know that it is such a sensitive subject right now. And trust me, when the season kicks off, we're going to put this whole thing behind us. And there was a few things that I really wanted to touch base on and sort of hear about and find out about. But, it's you can't change it. Like, it's in the past. We got 6 teams in the IFL, and it is what it is right now. So I just got to try to enjoy this upcoming season as best you can, and I think it's going to be a good product out there. I mean, the AFL can do it with 5 teams. I don't see why the IFL can't do it with 6. And yes, the AFL did announce its schedule. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Its schedule. And let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at that. because I was curious about it. Yeah, they released the schedule. They've only got, I think, 4 teams this year, and one of them is the defending champion Philadelphia Soul. So like I said, like it can be done, and it's what you make it is essentially what it comes down to. The product that you see is still going to be just as good a quality as anywhere else, but it is what you make it. So here we've got the official schedule. So there is 4 teams: the Washington Valor, the Baltimore Brigade, Philadelphia Soul, and the new expansion team called the Albany Empire. A little salt in the wound there. And they will play the Philadelphia Soul, looks like 2, 3, 4 times. They will play the Washington Valor 2, 3, 4 times. And the Baltimore Brigade 2, 3, 4 times as well. So all in all, they've got a bye week, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 game season is what you're looking at. So like it can be done. And the first game will be Saturday, April 14th versus the Philadelphia Soul in Philadelphia. It can be done. Like, I don't know why people think that just because you have a lesser league that the product is going to be any less. I get that, you know, when you crown a champion, you're like, oh, you only beat 3 other teams or 5 other teams or whatever the case. But at this level, they don't really care about that because you're not competing with the NFL. You're just giving young, talented players the opportunity to play, as well as, you know, try to create maybe your own brand and build that. So the AFL, 4 teams. I don't know if this is their last season or not. This season, it seemed like took a lot to get going. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some issues along the way. And then another interesting offseason. The Baltimore Brigade, they will play the Washington Valor to start the season. And I just totally did not mean to do what I just did on that one. The Baltimore team, I don't know why I cannot say Brigade. So they start out Friday, April 13th. They will play Washington 1, 2, 3, 4. Philadelphia 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And Albany 1, 2, 3, 4 times. They'll play Albany back-to-back on the road at Albany. And then they end their season back-to-back on the road against Philadelphia and Washington. Philadelphia Soul, their schedule, pretty similar. They play the Washington Valor back-to-back away and then at home. And then finally, the Washington Valor, their schedule, they play Philadelphia Soul back-to-back once away and then at home. They will end the season with 3 home games in a row. Lucky them. Lucky them. And it'll conclude with the Baltimore Brigade. So that's your AFL News Minute, I guess. I mean, I'm going to try to follow the season, but in all honesty, it's it is what it is. 4 teams, 6 teams, 10 teams. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. I don't see why people make such a big deal about it. What else do you have to do? Fishing? I can respect that. I can't. But you can go fishing any day of the week. There's a whole schedule available for you well in advance to schedule around football. And it's football. Everybody that says, oh, football's over with until August, it's not. Stop that. It's nonsense. And I would know. But the Indoor Football League, I think, doesn't get enough credit. And obviously, with the offseason it had, it's not going to get any more credit anytime soon. But for the 6 teams that it has, you've got the Arizona Rattlers, defending champions and sort of the kings of the indoor game, whether it's arena or indoor. They know what's going on. They know how to take care of business. Great franchise, great organization, and one hell of a head coach. They are going to be just fine this season. They're going to be great. Then you have the Cedar Rapids Titans all the way opposite, okay? And the reason I bring them up is because they were dead last in the league last year, only won one game. I can't even remember who that was against, but they won one game and very low budget. They don't have a whole lot of support from the city, the fans, the ones that attend are diehards, and good on them. But the team is up for sale, so it's a team with a lot of question marks, but they do have Marvin Jones as a head coach. So he wanted this project. He wants to build this thing up from the ground floor, and he's going to get every opportunity to do that. I don't think there's a better guy out there that could take on a project like this, other than maybe Coach Guy of the Rattlers. But Marvin Jones is going to do his very best with this team, and I applaud that. Green Bay Blizzard, title town. They know football. They love football. They're always there. Win, lose, or draw, good season or bad season. And I think Chris Williams is the right guy for that city. Get a lot of opportunity if you play in Green Bay as far as looks. You're literally across the street. And I know I don't normally use the word literally in its correct sense. However, they are literally across the street from the Green Bay Packers practice facility as well as their stadium. And it is quite the sight. So you're right there. Scouts are up there all the time. Guys get invites, phone calls, and a second look if you play for the Blizzards. So Arizona, you can play, and you'll probably have a legitimate shot at a championship. You can be under one of the best coaches in the game, in the indoor game, maybe even in the game of football. Like, I don't know where Kevin Guy ranks amongst the coaches greatest of all time, because it's really hard. I mean, you can compare NFL to college, yeah, but indoor or arena to professional or college, I don't know. But in the world of indoor football, arena or indoor, Coach Kevin Guy is got to be one of the all-time greats. Cedar Rapids, if you want to be a part of something possibly special, with an all-pro former NFL linebacker and Marvin Jones, who's played and coached at just about every level now, Cedar Rapids is the place for you. And Green Bay, if you want to go somewhere that knows football and be in a great community that loves its players and the fans are always out in full force, and you want to get, maybe an invite to a camp or a second look by a scout, Green Bay is the place for you. Now then, we have the other three teams, the Iowa Barnstormers, Nebraska Danger, and then, of course, the Sioux Falls Storm. With Iowa, just like Green Bay, really is. 2 hours away from Cedar Rapids, but really it's like Green Bay. There's a culture there. There is a draw because Kurt Warner, who has now been inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Not the NFL Hall of Fame, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame, was once a Barnstormer. He was there at the ground level when it all started and made a name for himself, got a second chance, seized the opportunity, and people know the Barnstormers. So the football club that is the Des Moines, Iowa Barnstormers, that's a great place to be. Coach Wooten has a winning formula. He's got something special going on there. And I would say that that's another great place for any young player to want opportunity. I'd say that they're probably right up there with a team that you would go play for if you want to have a legitimate shot at something special, be a part of a great community, have great fans, and postseason championship. Who knows? The potential is there. Execution, we'll see. The Danger is an interesting case to me because when you look at a team like this, complete rebuild from last year. Like none of the pieces there are the same. They lost their quarterback to Iowa. Drew Powell, who did great last season, is going to go in quarterback for Des Moines, for the Barnstormers. And, of course, they lost Rob Brown, who was a great running back. He went to the NAL. And sadly, of course, the tragic passing of Carl Sims in the offseason. So a lot of players they have lost in the offseason. Their coaching staff completely redone. Coach Stout now is at the helm. And they have the offensive mind and a man who knows the indoor game, Adam Shackelford. And then, of course, my good friend Marshall. This is a team that I believe it could be on something great. I think they're just like Cedar Rapids, where they're trying to build from the ground floor up and create something worthwhile in Grand Island, Nebraska. And they're a good franchise for this league. They really are. They're well known within the indoor community, and they have a great fan base there in Nebraska. Nebraska knows football too, so that would be another place that I would say, if you want to go and be part of something special, and turn around a team and have a chance to really bring together a community and maybe do what last year's Barnstormers did and do it for the Danger this time, turn around a franchise, go there. And then last, and of course not least, the Sioux Falls Storm, which is a team who had its championship streak snapped last season at home by the Rattlers. They will be out for revenge. I know you can have a revenge game. I don't know if you can have a revenge season, but I felt like it was time for someone else to wear the crown for a little bit, even if just for a season. But Sioux Falls, their fans love that team. Like Sioux Falls, the Storm is Sioux Falls, pretty much, when you go to South Dakota. And their facility is fantastic. I mean, that stadium or that arena was pretty much built for this team. And the staff is great. Coach Curtis Riggs, one of the best in the indoor game. And also a legitimate shot at a championship. So this is another team where you want to go if you want to be part of a great community, have really passionate fans, play in front of a huge crowd, probably the biggest crowd next to Arizona, and then Iowa, Green Bay, and so on, and just have fun with it. I mean, Sioux Falls players, they love donning that lightning bolt. They really do. And I think they've got a great front office and all the extra workers that go on in the background. Kaylee Shade, she's great with social media. So it's a place that you can go and feel like you're part of something special there. Some of the other teams, maybe you're building something special. But Arizona, fantastic facility there. Sunny, right? Talking Stick Arena, great one. I love being there. And you've got a great fan base to boot. Cedar Rapids, Green Bay, Iowa, Nebraska, and Sioux Falls. These are all great teams. They really are. And like I said, I really want them to have a very competitive season that has suspense, builds suspense, and holds on to it all the way till the last few weeks of the season. But, 6 teams, 32 teams, doesn't matter to me. I'm excited for it because I know that these guys work their asses off to be where they are and to possibly get a chance to be at that next level. They do not squander chances. They really don't. They just need to be given the chance and the opportunity to get to that next level and prove that they've got what it takes to play with the best of them. And in all honesty, that's what the Fan Show is aiming to do this season. It's the Fan Show will always be for the fans, okay? Made for the fans by a fan is what we've always done here. But this year, what the tour is going to focus on is giving the players some media attention and spotlight that they wouldn't otherwise either anywhere else at this level or not with the local news. Now, I'm not saying that I have some amazing reach or listenership out there across the country, because I don't. But I do have a national reach where a lot of these guys, they're going to be interviewed on their local TV, sports, and maybe their local ESPN. But what I want to do is create a spotlight for these players when I make these stops where I do and give them some well-deserved attention. Make them feel like they're at the pro level. And I've got some stuff cooked up for this year's tour that I think will do just that. And that is something that you will see Friday or Saturday before I fly out of here. So you will not want to miss the big announcement. And that is going to do it for this edition of the Fan Show. I apologize for the ranting and the rambling there at the end, but we are in full countdown mode. Kickoff 2 days away. Cedar Rapids Titans, Nebraska Danger, and then of course Sunday we get the Iowa Barnstormers, Green Bay Blizzard, Sioux Falls Storm, Arizona Rattlers. Fan Show Tour 2018 is about to kick off this weekend, and no looking back. All gas, no break. Very excited about it. So again, follow the Fan Show on all the social media platforms out there. Twitter is @FanShowOfficial, Facebook.com/FanShowOfficial, and then the Instagram is simply the Fan Show. I've got a Snapchat, but I'm too busy with seeing what Coach Wooten's up to update my own story. But nonetheless, I do post to it from time to time. and I keep in touch with some of my indoor buddies on there as well. But you can catch anything that you missed either at Spreaker.com, subscribe, iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. Catch replays, WBLZ Sports, and your home base for all things football and nonsense is thefanshow.com, which will have new weekly content once this season is officially kicked off, up and running, including the ever-popular power rankings done by yours truly, Richard Tiemann, the man who knows football and a whole lot of nonsense. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow night. Same fan show time, same fan show place for our season preview. That's right. All the countdowns are done. Friday is when things are down to business. So tune in tomorrow night for a special episode, the last one before we are officially up and running, the season, the tour. And I thank you all once again. So until then, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and remember, of course, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's blood? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the fan show.